Hi, it's Ian. Welcome to another 5-minute marketing tip. This week's tip is about the best methods for lead generation. So I'll see you after this short swoosh. Hi, welcome back. So last week's video, we talked about the ACE framework for lead generation, the 3 big steps of getting the attention of your ideal clients, connecting with them, and then engaging with them. So what are the best methods for that first step of getting the attention of your ideal clients? Well, the first thing to say is that you can't demand attention. You need to earn attention. You need to be, or you need to have something that is attention worthy. Now, for most of us, that's going to be our lead magnet, our free thing that we give away that's really valuable to our ideal clients, that's going to encourage them to connect with us. So if you haven't already got a really powerful and effective lead magnet, go back and watch the video I did on the perfect lead magnet a couple of weeks ago. Go through the checklist, the workbook, and create that lead magnet for your business. Because if you haven't got a lead magnet, everything is going to be so much harder. So there should be a link to that video below this one here. So once you have that really great lead magnet in operation, you then need a method, a tactic to get it and get yourself in front of your ideal clients to get their attention. Now, there's no one size fits all kind of method that works for everyone. If there was, everybody would be using it, and then it wouldn't be very effective because everybody would be using it. So you have to understand a variety of different factors that's going to find the right method for you and your clients. The first thing to bear in mind is the type of business you're in. What I mean by that is you may be in the sort of business where you only really need a handful, 2 or 3, maybe 4 or 5 really big, high value clients in any given year. Or you may be in the sort of business where you need 20, 30, 50, 100 or so customers and clients on the go every year. You need many, many more leads. So one would be, for example, a consultant working with corporates on big projects. Another might be someone like me who has online training products and a lot of customers for those, or someone who does group coaching, for example. Those are very different situations. In the former case, where you only need a small number of clients at any given time, you only need a small number of leads, but you need to put a lot of effort into nurturing those leads. So you need a lead generation method that's going to be really deep and engender a lot of trust. So you're looking at stuff like referrals, doing presentations and seminars at events that they run, and you're probably going to be using multiple lead generation methods to get into the one client to contact different people within that organization. On the other hand, if you need lots of leads, then you need a method that can consistently, reliably deliver you those leads at a relatively low cost to you in terms of time and money, because each individual client there isn't worth a kind of fortune to you. So when it comes to generating those leads reliably and consistently, my advice is to firstly to go for the most direct method. I remember a few years meeting up with a guy who was a consultant. He did kind of health and safety type stuff for larger organizations, but he was trying to get leads by going to those local business breakfast meetings where lots of small businesses meet, kind of plumbers and accountants and stuff like that. And of course, there was no one from those corporates he was targeting actually at those events. And he bought into the idea that the people promoting the events were telling him that you never know how big the network of the other people at the event is, which is true to some extent, but it's a lot easier to go to events where corporate people are actually there if you want to meet corporate people. So take a direct route and go to the places where your clients that you're targeting actually hang out. So online, it may well be that someone shows you that Instagram is the latest best method for generating leads, and here are 1,000 I generated for 50 pence last week. But if your clients don't use Instagram, then that method is going to be no good to you whatsoever. So a kind of couple of factors you need to weigh up when you are doing those sort of are thinking about what the right lead generation method for me is. So firstly, it needs to be a method that it's going to reach your clients where they are. So it has to be on a medium that they use. So if they're in business, obviously they're going to be using LinkedIn. If it's online, pretty much everyone is on Facebook. They may not be using it for business, but even people in corporates use Facebook. They are reachable through Facebook advertising. Other methods, kind of, it then depends, and you have to look into what the reach of that particular channel is. You also have to take into account your own skills and your own assets. So if you figure out that your ideal clients go to these events where people do presentations, then presentations might be a good way of reaching them. But if you absolutely hate presentations and you'd rather die than get up on stage, it's probably not going to be a great method for you. Certainly not in the short term until you overcome that fear and learn how to do it. So you need to find something that works for you and your skills, but also your assets. Now, some people are short of time, but have plenty of money to spend. So if that's the case, frankly, paid advertising is usually the best, easiest method. By that, I mean pay-per-click advertising or advertising on Facebook, on LinkedIn, at a pinch, on Google. Not as good as it used to be, much more expensive than it used to be. But Facebook ads can reach pretty much anyone if you target based on interests, based on them looking like a custom audience you might have uploaded of your best email subscribers. You can then send them straight to a landing page, get them to sign up for emails, etc., by offering them your lead magnet. So that kind of paid advertising works really well and is definitely something you should consider if you have a budget, but you are short of time. On the other hand, if you're in the reverse situation and you haven't got much money, but you've got time, then you should consider essentially partnering. So by partnering, I mean writing guest blog posts for other people in certain niches. That can bring you plenty of traffic to your landing pages. Participating or running summits. This is something that's been working really well over the last couple of years, I found, and I've participated in a few summits, and it's brought me many hundred new subscribers. And what I've done is I have done a short interview or a presentation that's been part of an online summit. People from all the contributors have been invited to that summit, and then when they watch my presentation or listen to my interview, at the end I make an offer for a free lead magnet type thing, a free report or something useful, and they come to my website and they sign up. So I did a recent summit, I think I had about 300 or something new subscribers for the cost of having an interview with me recorded for about an hour. Now a step up from that, if you've got more time, is to actually run your own summit. So get various non-competing experts in the field that you work in together, interview them or get them to do presentations, etc. Organize that summit. And obviously as the organizer of the summit, whenever anyone signs up for that summit, they then go into your email list and you send them the information about the summit, and then you need to disclose that up front, but then you'll send them your emails related to that topic that the summit is on an ongoing basis. So running a summit can be a really good way of generating lots of leads, but time consuming. Other good ways of doing it, joint venture webinars, for example, where you do a webinar for someone else's audience, they do a webinar for your audience. Both of you generate lots of leads through that from people who sign up for the webinars. So that partnering methodology in its various forms works well when you've got time but not much money. The paid advertising method, I find, it's the one I use the most, works best when you're short of time, but you have the money to spend on those ads, and you can get them to work well at a reasonable cost. Remember what I said in my email from yesterday about figuring out your customer value, your client value, and the value of a lead to you. Once you know what that is, it can give you the confidence to invest in paid advertising. So those are what I would look for in a lead generation method. Understand the kind of business I'm in as to whether I'm going to go down that doing things more in person route or doing things more as a kind of conveyor belt and doing them online, depending on whether I need a small number of high value clients or a large number of normal clients. Then based on that, find the media where my clients are hanging out that they use. And if I've got money but not time, probably some kind of form of paid advertising. And if I've got time and not money, then some form of partnering with others and putting the effort in to things like a summit or a webinar, etc., where we do things jointly and people sign up through that. That's it for this week. Hope that was useful. See you soon.